The Shawn Campbell Show, a podcast for the aspiring and hungry entrepreneur.
Hey everybody, it's Shawn Campbell, The Shawn Campbell Show, a podcast by and for entrepreneurs. And I have an amazing guest today. She has some tremendous news for everybody. And I get to tell about it first to everybody. I get to brag about this. This is a feather in my cap. Tricia Beck from Beck Leadership. How are you today?
I'm great, Shawn. Thanks.
Is there a reason why you're smiling a lot right now? Tell us.
Well, yeah, because my very first attempt at being an author in a self-published book on Amazon, and it hit #1 new release in just under 24 hours. So I had no idea. I'm so grateful and really excited. Wow.
I got a real influencer on my show today. This is amazing. I got lucky. So what's the title of the book? It's Mentoring Lifts and Inspires Women Empowering Women, correct?
Correct.
And what motivated you to write this book?
Well, you know, the truth is I've always been a lifelong learner. And I thrive on novelty, and I don't sit still very long. And I graduated a group of participants in the Beck Leadership course on March the 10th. And as you know, COVID happened. Yeah. And it's a face-to-face leadership training course, and I just loved it. Love it. And then on March the 10th, I had been invited by the Arizona Technology Council to participate in, they have I think it's quarterly Women in the Workforce events. And this one was a speed mentoring event. And they invited me to sit as a speed mentor for leadership. Wow. And I was honored, and I learned so much. It was about 60 women or so that came through. There were groups of 6 or 7 women every 8 minutes that came through. And listening to their conversations, it became really clear to me that mentoring was something that's lacking. But so I just I drew back because I couldn't teach my leadership training courses face-to-face. And I naively thought, oh, COVID's going to go away in a few weeks or so, and I'll just get back at it. Yeah. But in the meantime, I said, you know what, I'm going to write a book on mentoring. And it was the catalyst was listening to these women in a speed mentoring event. And so I wrote a book. Wow.
Was this your first time you've written a book?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Can you give us an overview of what the book's about? Insight?
I'd love to. It's actually, the book is in 2 separate sections. And, you know, the first section, my intention was to just really have it be a very readable. I mean, I actually have a lot of bullet points in there because, you know, not everybody has a lot of time to read some lengthy academic kind of thing. And so my intention was to provide just a general overview of what the mentoring process is, how to really be effective in that mentoring relationship, whether you're the mentor or the mentee, and kind of open the door for companies and organizations to see the value of mentoring for their people as well. Yeah. And I was almost done, and I went, God, this is really dry and boring, and it lacks any real personality. And so I reached out to several women that I really respect and admire, and I was blown away. Almost every one of them said, you bet, I'd be happy to share my personal story of the impact mentoring has had for me. Wow. And so that's what the second half of the book is, a compilation of personal stories from one gal who's my niece, who's 25, a very driven young lady, and all the way through to women in their 70s and I think even 80s in various different capacities. So I love their stories. They're all just like, I don't know, like reading a bedtime story. I love them.
Yeah. So what was the experience like? Because I've been trying to write my first book for the last like 18 months now. And I have like a little bit of every chapter kind of halfway done, if that. What was your experience like, and how did you get it done so quickly?
Well, I talked to a lot of people about writing, and it seems writing nonfiction is a different animal than writing fiction.
Okay.
So I would say, with nonfiction, I actually, because I'm sort of old school and I'm visual and tactile, I took index cards and just laid out some of the introduction, what mentoring is, what it isn't. And I had an index card for each one of those topics that I kind of saw as a chapter, and then sort of bullet pointed, and then started, continued reading and researching. And so that's kind of how I put it together. Like I said, I thought, well, it's informative, but it's a little dry.
Mm-hmm. How much did your experience as an educator, do you think kind of helped you along that process?
It almost was detrimental because we have this stereotype of knowing everything and doing everything right, and that's not the truth by any stretch. And so throughout the process there was constantly that self-doubt and that second guessing, and this maybe this is not academic enough, or maybe I need to cite some research, and no, just write the stupid book. Just write.
I'm gonna get a sticker and put that on my laptop here. Just write the stupid book. I've been trying to write a book about my journey as an entrepreneur and how I got started. Kind of write some advice for somebody who's thinking about getting into business ownership. And like I said, I have 10 chapters. I have the framework for it, and maybe half of every chapter completed. But I think I'm actually overthinking it a little bit. Maybe.
That was my experience. And the book ended up being 142 pages on Kindle. But Kindle's pretty small. You can read the whole line in one eye shot. So it reads pretty fast.
Yeah.
And that really was my intention. I didn't want it to be some heavy, overwhelming, just an easy read, an overview, something to inspire people and sort of click on the light bulb that, oh, wow, this is a good possibility for me.
Yeah.
I've got goals, and I've got student debt, and I want to get promoted, and I'm not sure where I should go. I think I need a mentor.
Yeah. Who would benefit most from this book?
Well, I think what I just alluded to is, and I say women, men would gain value from reading this book as well, for sure. But, my intention was to gear it specifically for women. But I think any woman who is looking to advance their career, has goals, personal or professional goals. Also, women who have a desire to give back as a mentor. And then, of course, companies that really value their people. And, over 70% of Fortune 500 companies, over 70% have mentoring programs in place.
Oh, wow.
So if you look at the numbers, it's a real strong, it works. Mentoring just works. And not so much in the formal, traditional form. Mentoring shows up everything from, working with your grandmother or grandfather, like Clint Eastwood attributes a lot of his success to a grandparent, to, there was the guy in Silicon Valley, Bill Campbell, who mentored a whole bunch of people, and he wasn't even a specialist in the IT field.
Oh, wow.
He prided himself on being a non-technical person, but he mentored, Bill, I don't know if he did. I shouldn't quote because I can't remember. I have to look at the book. I'm a little flustered. But yeah, so.
Do you think the ideal mentor would be someone within your field or someone completely out of it?
That's a great question, Sean. And I think part of what a person needs to do is sit down and gain clarity about, we often get that nagging feeling that we're stuck, or there's somewhere else we want to go, but we're not really sure that we can see our way clear to get there, or even know where there is. And so people turn to mentoring for a variety of different reasons. And sometimes a mentor doesn't have to be in your industry, because mentoring is not skill specific. It's not even content specific. Mentoring is intended to build up your character and help you with those traits that will help you succeed. So, but it definitely could be someone in your industry.
Yeah.
It just depends on your goal.
So we talked a little bit about this before we actually came on, Trish. I mean, you were a little off schedule as far as when you were going to release the book.
Yeah. I have to say, I have sort of a fairy godmother, and her name is Sharon Michaels. And she's a business coach that I've been working with for almost a year. And she has self-published on Amazon over 40 books.
Wow.
Yeah. She started off with self-help books, and now she writes, cozy, fuzzy little, like Hallmark kind of nonfiction that are real easy read. But she really was instrumental in helping me when, I'd start lacking confidence, or, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do next. And she was just really helpful. So, she is a mentor and a coach.
Yeah. So what's next for you, Tricia? I know the book before the end of the year, right?
Yes. The book is out currently in Kindle, and my goal is to have it available in print by September 1st. And it requires a little bit different formatting and doing a back cover and some other things. So I'll do that. But for right now, I am writing a curriculum. I'm collaborating with a woman, Isabel Banerjee, who has started a business. She was a Canadian powerhouse in the corporate world. She ran a multi-million-dollar chemical company in Canada, and she is a dynamo. And for her 65th birthday, she published her book, Who Am I Now? And I met her at her book launch, and we just hit it off. And so I'm writing a curriculum for her course. She has it's called the Encore Academy for women who are, looking for their encore career. What else can I do? How else can I make a contribution? And so I'm writing a curriculum on mentoring for the Encore Academy. I'm also still considering whether I want to put my Beck leadership course into an online format, and trying to wrap my head around how to maintain the effectiveness and the integrity of the program so people walk away with lifelong, lasting, positive outcomes from taking my course. And I'm not sure quite yet how to do it in an online format. So that'll be my next big thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of people kind of struggling with, how to, maintain that connection with their visitors, or, I used to do my seminar every month, and to be honest, I just couldn't do it online. I didn't have the same effectiveness at all. So it's not easy. It's not as easy as just putting a camera in front of you and just doing your curriculum.
Right. Well, and I've been to your seminars, and they're really great. They're wonderful. And that's where I'm coming from is, what I love most about teaching, training, and coaching is to be present when people get that aha moment.
Right.
And it's kind of selfish of me, but I don't want him to get that aha moment behind the screen and I don't get to witness it. You know? Yeah. So, but we'll see, and you know, maybe pick my brain if you like in the process. I'm happy to share.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So here's a question I asked all my guests. I hope you didn't see any of my previous videos with some of my guests, but I always ask, give me 3, it has to be celebrities because everybody kind of knows the celebrities. And I want them all like living. Who are 3 celebrities that you would love just to sit down and have a cocktail or a beer with today, if you could today, without social distancing being, you know, an issue, that you could actually sit down across the table and just kind of spend a few hours with?
Well, a celebrity would be Brene Brown. I think that's a well-recognized celebrity. Another one that comes to mind is a Dr. Ullman. I believe that's her name, and she wrote a book called Grateful Leadership. And that's actually, my next book is about the power of just being that kind of leader. Yeah. And then, gosh, a third one, a celebrity. Well, I'm talking to you right now.
You're the first and only person to say me as part of those 3. I'm not quite celebrity status. Maybe here in downtown Tucson, south of the TCC, I'm the celebrity, but outside of my little circle here.
Yeah. You know, actually, aside from me, you know, recently I've been really enjoying looking on LinkedIn at Lee Lambert's posts, the president of Pima Community College. I don't know if that's his correct title, but you know, I would love to have lunch with him and just pick his brain. I think he has, I love his insights and his perspective on education and what we need to bridge the gap between education and workforce readiness.
Yeah. How long were you a teacher, Tricia?
30 years.
I know. I knew the answer to that, but I want everybody else to hear that straight from you. And
my heart just goes out so much to everyone right now who's dealing with all the turmoil, and there is no easy answer. And I just wish the best for everyone. Yeah. I hope we all get through this sooner than later. It's been pretty tough here in Arizona. You know, it's been it's taken us a while. Where's the first place you're going to visit after everything is a little more safe and open? Well, I've had 2 trips to Florida cancel during this, but I don't know. I'd like to go see my son and his wife in Texas. Maybe go to Florida. I'm not real sure. Not real sure. There are a lot of cool places right here in the U.S.
Yeah, absolutely. So if a listener wants to reach out to you and for information on the book, what's the best way to get hold of you?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm also on Facebook. And then, of course, my website, which is Beck, like the beer, but not as bitter, BeckLeadership.com. Right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, email, and it's my first name, Tricia, Tricia, at BeckLeadership.com. And I don't know, I sent you a link for the book on Amazon, if that's something you can share or not. But
absolutely. I'll be sure to share this on my Facebook, LinkedIn, and my YouTube as well. So I really appreciate you coming on, Tricia. And I wish you the best of luck with your book. I wish you the best of luck with everything else that's coming up. It's just an honor for you to be, you know, on my show with me.
Thank you.
Very much appreciated.
I appreciate the opportunity. It's always good to see you, Sean. You're such a friendly person.
It's been a while since we've seen each other.
I know. I miss the networking and your seminars and, you know, all that face-to-face stuff. I miss it. So, here, fist pump.
Fist pump. If you're ever in the area, I got the bigger office in my building now, so we could, have a cup of tea or a coffee or whatever. Just let me know.
Anytime.
You're always welcome. So.
All right. Very good, Sean.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for listening to the Sean Campbell Show. If you have any questions, comments, please reach out to Tricia, and we really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you for listening to The Sean Campbell Show. Follow us on Instagram at The Sean Campbell Show.